for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Welcome to your weekend. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. I'm your host, Dave Priest. Go ahead and get your pens ready. Let me give you some numbers that you're going to be needing over the next 30 minutes because you're going to hear a lot of information. And if you don't get it all, we'll give you the places that you can go back and get it. Real quick, the phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. You could also go online to the brand new radio show website, which is blakesloanradio.com, blakesloanradio.com. And if you want to send an email to Ask Blake, well, that's very convenient because the email address is ask@blakesloanradio.com. Again, you're going to need those numbers because the information you're going to hear, you're going to say, what? I need to get that again. And if you get it, we'll give it to you. The man to give it to you is Blake Sloan. Welcome to the show, Blake.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
And we've got a lot of information to go over, obviously, again this week.
Absolutely. We got a ton of great info for both buyers and sellers. We're going to go last month's market performance updates. We just got those numbers in today. And we're going to discuss how we compare here locally versus the national housing recovery as a whole. Obviously, some people probably read the great news we just had that was on Friday. So we'll go over that, kind of what that means, kind of decipher between the positive and kind of what to also look for long term. We're going to talk about some mortgage rate news. Kind of prophecy we talked about is kind of fulfilling itself there. We're talking about the spring fever that kind of everybody's experienced in all kind of different ways. We're talking about what that means to anyone who's thinking about potentially selling their home. And we're talking about ways you can get your home sold for the most amount of money and capitalize on these types of buyers. Many of them who aren't from here, who are coming down. We'll talk about why they're coming down, when they're coming down, also what they're looking for, and how you can position your house and your property to get more money and create more demand for that during that. And we'll talk about how our system does that. And of course, usually we got some smoking hot deals for everyone, and everyone can get VIP access to all those deals the minute they hit the market before anyone else, and easily able to get that by signing up on the website as well.
Well, now, if anybody's just tuning into the show for the very first time, let me give you the lowdown on Blake here real quick. Industry just says that he's the real estate whiz kid. I mean, it's pretty good just from his friends and co-workers and from people who actually work against him as well. He's been featured in Forbes, Wall Street Journal, NBC, Realtor magazine. You've heard the endorsements on this radio station from Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity. Any of those by itself is great, but put them all together, it's just, well, it's fantastic. Now, last time we talked, Blake, we were telling a little bit more about your trademark systems that you have. And why don't you go ahead and explain a little bit about how you can help both buyers and sellers and what you do for both?
Absolutely, and that's the one thing that we always just want to talk about. I know it's so important. Most people don't really understand how valuable it is in regards to most kind of view real estate agents as a commodity, and couldn't be further from the truth. The single most important variable that determines your success or failure as a home seller or even a home buyer is number one, hands down, the single most important thing is the agent that you choose representing that transaction. It's just like the doctor you want, right? They're not commodities. There's differences there. Same thing with lawyers. It's the same thing here. People are purchasing their largest asset, which is usually the case for most people. And with that, there's so many variables all the way through the entire process. There's 100 different variables in both the home buying process from A to Z. Same thing the home selling process. And what our systems do, our guaranteed sold system, sells homes faster and for 21% more money than average traditional methods. And our unfair advantage home buying system helps buyers find the best deals, get access to the absolute best financing and vendors all the way through the entire process. But each and every point we create leverage from A to Z. So all the small little things where things can go wrong, can go great, we practically manage all those variables through our systems, A to Z, to make sure we can create maximum leverage all the way through. And in turn, obviously, in that transaction, that's a massive benefit for either that home seller who's working with our guaranteed sold system or also that home buyer who's purchasing through our unfair advantage home buying program.
All right. Well, if you need more information on anything you've heard already or anything you're going to be hearing, make sure you get the phone numbers ready and get them out, get them copied down, stick them in your phone right now because you never know when you might have that real estate question. 808-SOLD, 808-SOLD. That's for Blake Sloan. It's Sloan Realty Group. Also, you can go onto our website at blakesloanradio.com. We'll recap all the information you're going to be hearing throughout the course of the next 30 minutes or so right here. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan on Hot Talk 99.5.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local and buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. Now, if you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at BlakesGuarantee.com. BlakesGuarantee.com. And be sure to listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Sunday morning at 9 and Saturday mornings at 8.
Welcome back to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan of the Sloan Realty Group. I'm your host, Dave Priest, on Hot Talk 99.5. One of the big things, Blake, about real estate is numbers, and I've learned a lot just in the last few months that I've been here in the show when you've been doing it, is the fact that just the smallest change in numbers can have the biggest impact on home buying or home selling. So let's get into some of the numbers and look at some of the real estate updates and how things are going for the last month.
Absolutely, that's critical for anyone that kind of gets involved in the market, for anyone that's also representing somebody. That's kind of the foundation to, okay, how are we going to plan to win? We reverse engineer based on what those numbers are and are able to use that to benefit us in negotiation, all kinds of certain things. But we just got February's numbers in. Obviously, they'll usually come out on the 15th of the month. But we just got those in. It's great news because January's momentum continued into February. We had strong sales and also rebound sales price as well, which is great for February. So as a whole, obviously we separate single families and condos, especially over here because a lot of those are second homes. It's kind of hard to put those together. So if you break them out, single family homes, the sales activity remains strong. February's volume was up 13.6% from February last year. So it's a great increase there. We're seeing that like we talked about. We've kind of been scraping that bottom. It's all supply and demand based, right? So once the sales are going up, what usually follows is prices going up. We're kind of following that, and that's what we've been waiting for strong numbers compared to previous years. So getting into that, the year-to-date single-family sales are up 16.6% from last year's numbers, which is great. And single-family inventory is up. That's seasonally, right? We talked about that first year. People wait, put their home in the market there. But in February's level is up 3% than last year's. But the good thing there, so that means inventory in February was 3% higher than we had last year. But that's okay because sales was up 16.6%. So you're really net, 13.3% more there when you break that down. The one thing too that's really good is the non-distressed listings. So that means anything is not a short sale, anything is not a foreclosure. Those listings continue to decline, which means obviously a little less inventory, which means those houses are still selling. That's kind of what you can gauge it on long term once all those foreclosure and short sales are able to get flushed out. But the big thing here is that the single family median sales price rebounded from January. It's up to $175. The improvement's obviously by higher non-distressed sales prices, but so far year to date, the single family median sales price is down 3.7% from 2012. That's kind of what we're waiting to kind of get that up. Once that kind of gets up, that's what we've been kind of waiting for to say, okay, we're seeing that recovery here locally. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of places nationally who have already seen that. They've seen gains, 8, 9%. We kind of obviously follow some of those even traditionally. We're usually 6, 8 months in some cases. But with that, like we talked about, we're seeing that make that low curve at the bottom there start to come up. We're seeing obviously it's less, I think it was 4 point something we saw previously, so we're kind of creeping back up to that zero, hopefully making that forward curve, which is good news, and hopefully keep watching that month to month to see what happens. But so far year to date, price is still down at 3.7%. So we're going to keep watching that month by month. Like I said, all the factors before that, the leading indicators are definitely showing we're going towards that area. Condo sales. The sales activity was strong in February. It was up 18.7% from the prior level. So that's huge in regards to condos because that's something that took the biggest hit initially because there are so many second homes and people letting those go first where they're protecting their home residents, and that's kind of something to watch, and that's something that's huge news in regards to people coming down here. And we're also going to talk about that in the next section, kind of who's coming down, what they're looking for, how they're doing it. But the year-to-date condo sales are up 21.9%. That's huge. I mean, that's a big chunk there that we're seeing improvement. That's something that's great we're watching for too. And we're not even really kind of full into that season. We're just hitting that kind of like we talked about because, December, January, February, there's aren't usually the highest months in regards to sales, because people get like we said, that spring fever. They're up north where it's really cold. They're wanting to get down here to look, buy houses.
Right.
We've been packed on the weekends with people who are in town looking. A lot of them have been looking for months and months. They're kind of watching, planning. We'll talk about kind of who that is, how they do it. But overall, the inventory is up seasonally, right? But year over year, the inventory level is down 10%, which is good, right? That means, okay, there's less in the market now.
Right.
It's matching that supply demand thing there. And the condo median sales price is up 14.5% from January, which is really good. And the whole thing overall, and this is a great thing too, year-to-date condo median sales price is up 9.5%. So that's something that's great. It's not usually a huge, I always kind of look at that single family as an indicator overall, because you'll see certain things that are a little more seasonal in regards to condos. There's certain things you'll see. So that's great news in the condo front. We're obviously seeing that come back and kind of watching that there. So it's great news. Obviously people are getting in, people are purchasing, and we're hopefully seeing that hit that light into the tunnel and be able to come out of it.
So the headline in the Sun News that says Myrtle Beach area real estate continues its rebound, from the numbers you're giving me, that's accurate.
Absolutely, it's definitely continuing the rebound. Like I mentioned, there's some cases where I'm always kind of skeptical, where always keep that kind of emotion and hope separate from what you see. There's been a lot of national news that, if you dissect it, there's some things that are conflicting there. But obviously, we're seeing that where interest rates are so low. Like I said, we've seen them creep up a little bit, but they're so low. Prices are so great. It's such a great opportunity for people to purchase. We're finally seeing that come around, and we're pretty much right on the money where we talked about in regards to what we were seeing sales-wise. We talked for months now how it's scraping that bottom. We're going to see the supply-demand kind of equal itself out, because we as real estate agents don't set the market price. Consumers and buyers set the market price based on how their demand is, what they're purchasing, when they are. The next great sign to really show rebounds happening is once we see single-family home values get to that positive note from where they were last year, and that's a great thing we're looking forward to.
One price that the consumers do not set, though, is the interest rate. So where are we sitting?
Right. It's I don't want to say that we told you so, right? But it's something that's a huge thing that we talked about a few weeks in a row, because that's the number one mismanaged variable when people purchase a home. That's the one thing they don't focus on, and it hands down the number one mismanaged variable, because you can make such a massive difference. We talked about how much buying power could cost you with 1 point, just kind of from a 3% to a 4%. But this week's rates, from Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey, which is one of the biggest ones that people kind of go by, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.63%. The 15-year fixed rate, 2.79%. But there's also, when you comparison there, we talked about it's going to go up. We talked about how the end of this year we're going to be 4% plus based on what the Mortgage Bankers Association was saying. We're already seeing this. Obviously, there's been a lot of pressure on the Fed. We talked about, so you're seeing that creep up. And the one thing too, obviously, when the stock market is doing so great, it means the bond market is not, doing, quite as well there. So that's one thing that we all kind of predicted right on the money is going to happen. But look at January 3rd of this year, interest rate 3.34%. Now this was March 14th. The survey came out 3.63. Right, significant jump there, and that's obviously a big change to somebody's monthly payment. That's what we were talking about before. Hey, look, that's going to offset a lot more than if people waiting for the total bottom of the market to hit, because that's what most people don't watch. They don't realize it can cost them 20% buying power in regards to their monthly payment if it goes up just 1 full point. One thing to note here too is that Bankrate.com, they do a survey too each week, and theirs this week was 3.85%. It's a little higher there. So that's kind of one thing to watch out for. We're seeing it creep up. Like we mentioned, still definitely to get in is still, unbelievable, unprecedented lows in regards to where we're at right now, where it's been seasonally in the past. So a great thing there. One thing too for everybody to remember, we actually have a special deal. We do a lot of volume. Obviously, we search for an unfair advantage program to find the most aggressive lenders who lend the most money for the best rates. And we have a program, we can give you a certificate. You get basically 0.0125% off your mortgage rate when purchasing through us. So if you're interested in that, want to know more information, you can submit online, email us, call in. We can get you that certificate and get you absolute best deals and access to all the foreclosures, short sales, and must-sell properties out there as well.
All right. Coming up in just a second, what's that I smell? Oh, it's spring. Spring is in the air. Spring fever is hitting. We want to see how that's going to affect home buyers and home sellers. And we'll talk about that in just a second. If you want more information about what you're hearing here today on the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan, of course, call Blake at 808-SOLD. That's area code 843-808-SOLD. Of course, you can get all that information. We'll be posting it on the website, BlakeSloanRadio.com. That's BlakeSloanRadio.com.
Hello, Myrtle Beach. It's Glenn Beck. And if you need to sell your property, You don't have to experience all the headaches and long nights.
After this one, we're going to probably, I'll see how long we go. We're about 15 minutes, right?
Have a celebrity right in your backyard. Blake Sloan.
Yeah, 15 right now, so at the end of this commercial, we'll probably be right at about 16, so yeah.
For Blake,
All right.
he's going to pull out his checkbook and buy it himself. The Wall Street Journal ranks Blake among the top 100 real estate agents in North America, and I personally met Blake, and I can tell you that his national marketing program is unparalleled. Most agents in Myrtle Beach, they stick a sign in your yard, maybe a few balloons, and then they hope a buyer finds you. But Blake spends tens of thousands of dollars attracting buyers from all over the world that come to Myrtle Beach. That helps his properties sell fast and for top dollar. Blake even gives you the option to get out of your contract at any point if you're not happy with his level of service, but you never will. He's the real estate agent I wish I could have called, Blake Sloan. Call him now at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD, or visit Blake's website and see his interview on NBC. That's blakesguarantee.com. Or listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 8 or Sunday morning at 9.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan on Hot Talk 99.5. Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. 808-SOLD is his phone number, as you've heard. Blake, you know, you don't have to look around too far to see hot rods and runners and snowbirds and Canadians, and there's people from the Carolinas, there's people from the north, there's people from the Great White North. They're all flocking to the beach in great numbers. Now, people come here, some of them just come here to enjoy their 2 or 3 or 7 or 8 days here along the Grand Strand, but a lot of people look around and say, you know, I'd like to spend a lot more time here. Is this a good time to kind of, you know, see, how does spring affect buying and selling?
It's crazy. It's like and you can kind of feel it. You know, obviously we feel it here. I was driving down Ocean Boulevard this week and just kind of thinking about where you can see like everybody walking the boulevard. They're like wanting so bad for it to be summer. You know, it's not quite, you know, warm, like summer warm yet, but people are wanting to get out.
Yeah.
And we're like that here already. Even locals and people you see, you know, imagine what it's like up north. A lot of our clients come from, and they're itching like crazy. It's way worse. And what we've seen a massive spike in regards to people that are searching online, who are planning their trips. And that's one thing that a lot of people have got to realize, especially in your home seller. And that's kind of how it's real valuable to, because obviously we're a vacation destination here. A lot of people buy second homes or relocating. We have a lot of people from out of town who may be a weekend driver, let's say from North Carolina, you know, Tennessee, Virginia. A lot of people from up north who obviously come, they're a little more planned out, but it all depends on what they're buying, whether it be investment second home, they're relocating. Also, a lot of people up north are able to sell their home now. That was a big challenge before. They couldn't get their home sold. Now they've been doing it. What we see, though, is all these buyers will usually plan it around a weekend trip, a week trip, and we're starting to see that happen now. We had 4 different groups in town this past week and last week who wrote something up. We had 4 of our listings that went under contract in less than 10 days, traditional sales, not bank owned or anything. Just because there's been so many people from out of town purchasing, they're ready, they planned, and that's one thing. The majority, if you do, a lot of pay-per-click advertising, like online stuff, literally about 80% of those are from non-local people, because so many of those are searching. They're planning out. Some may be 12 months out, some may be 6 months. It all depends, on kind of where they're coming from, where they're searching at. But that's the one thing that we're really noticing. And these people are planning these trips around now, spring stuff. They're looking for reasons to get down here, and just kind of give everybody the overall feel of how it works is we see them search on our different portals. We have one of the top search tools in the net, and we see the action pick up. And what they'll do is they have a trip planned either with their children, with their family. Right now it's usually a weekend, 3 or 4 days. Once we get into summer, obviously the next big kick is once the kids get out of school. What we'll see is a lot of those families will plan together. Here's our weekend vacation, here's our week-long vacation, but we're gonna buy something while we're here. And we've had people, literally the ones in town last week, said we're gonna buy something before we leave. And what's happened? They've done months of research. They know every single property out there. They know what's out there. They looked at the pictures, and that's one thing that can help any home seller out there position their house better. And that's one thing our guaranteed sold system does, because okay, now yes, inventory's been up since the first of the year. We're talking about supply and demand, right? And that's one thing that we talk about with our guaranteed sold system is there's always that principle of price elasticity. So the market can be up, the market can be down, but there's always going to be a high in that price range and a low in price range, even within the same neighborhood, right? Because what we find is buyers will pay a premium for something that's a little nicer, something they don't have to put as much work in. It's just like anything. We're able to have that done, and that's kind of what one of the big things that if you talk about what's one of the biggest points of leverage right now for someone who's looking to get sold, who may be competing with a lot more sellers out there when these buyers are coming, is positioning your home in the marketplace. And superior positioning is really the key point of leverage. You get your home sold fast for the most money. And that's the one thing we talk about in that system is that buyers don't buy strictly on price, right? They buy on value. And what we're able to do with our system, the same thing that any seller should do, your value equals relation to the price to the quality. The one thing there is quick fixer-ups will kind of show you that, but certain leverage points there, obviously that price elasticity we talked about, certain price drivers. What can you do to create a little instant equity, quick fix-up, carpet clean, certain things will kind of show you what the top quick ROI things are. To get the fastest and quickest return on your investment in regards to putting on the market. Most people kind of let this part, like, oh, we'll just clean it up, have some clutter and stuff, doesn't really matter. Huge can be costly there because you're competing against so many other homes. These buyers already know what it's like. The pictures better be good. There's all kind of certain aspects there. But like we talked about, what we do in our system is we reverse engineer from the buyer's point of view, right? We reverse engineer, okay, what are we looking for? What kind of buyer profile is going to be most likely to purchase this? And we're able to build that around there. It could be something where if it's a family-friendly neighborhood, you want to be able to make sure that you're showing that, getting that part out there. But so what are some really quick things you can do to differentiate your house? One of those is going to be what we call our Expert Advantage risk reduction. The one thing that can help is a home warranty, right? You can offer a home warranty with your house when it's on the market, and what that does, that reduces the risk for that home purchaser, and it differentiates your house there, right? Because it's less risk for them, especially if you're in a range that's a first-time home buyer. Obviously, they're a little scared. They're not used to having to have or front that cost for AC going out, whatever it may be. It's very minimal cost to the seller. You're talking $300, depending on what type you get. It go at $500, but what it does protects against major minor issues from the listing date from 12 months after the sale. That's one thing to differentiate. So you're able to offer that. These buyers, and what you want to do with these buyers, you want to cut through the noise, I guess you say. They're looking at these sites with thousands. I think right now there's about 4,000 listings on the market here, overall. Obviously, there are different niches and different areas within there. You want to differentiate yourself from that, and that's one huge tool. That's a minor investment you're able to do there. And so all these little things that we talked about add up, because once you stack them together, guess what? Now you've differentiated. Now those buyers are looking to increase demand very, very well in regards to versus your low competition. That's how you get high in the price range, in regards to that price elasticity. The other thing that's huge that most people always don't really do, that's part of our guaranteed sold system, is what we call our Expert Advantage pre-inspection. This is getting a home inspection on the front end, where most people just wait till it gets through, add them to contract. They're like, okay, well, oh man, and always have these big surprises. They're not prepared, and there's always going to be something. We have new homes that we've done home inspections on as things come up. It's just, kind of how it is. That's the inspector's job, because if he doesn't, they have a legal liability there. But literally doing a home inspection, and these are from third-party independent studies, the home inspection can speed up the home sale up to 30%. And that's a huge, huge number there in regards to the speed of getting it done, and a massive point of leverage. And what it does, it identifies potential deal killers and allows you to maintain position of strength in regards to differentiating. You say, look, this has already had a home inspection, it's clean, and it's one more thing that these buyers are able to differentiate. They feel safer because this is such a large purchase here. The study also shows that every $1 now can save you $2 later. And the reason that is because once people, let's say you're moving, you have to buy something else, you've already purchased it, you've already, got an offer on something, well, this huge home inspection comes up, you got a screen door messed up, all these certain things, that screen door probably going to be fixed for $50, $75 by a handyman. Now they're asking you for $1,000, $2,000 off. And all those things that are in there stack up. Right. You can get a handyman to come in, or obviously a certain contractor you may like or have that can do these repairs for you. They're very well, correctly, they'll pass the other home inspection, because obviously that buyer is going to do one, but we're able to make sure that we're able to eliminate these on the front end. And I feel what we've seen, those are conservative numbers in regards to $1 now will save you $2 later, because you as a home seller, your positioning in negotiation is hurt, because they know you got to move somewhere else. They know you probably already have a contract somewhere, and you're already that far in the process. That's going to give you, it's going to take away your leverage a lot, and that's something that we talk about using our system. This is something that we talked about before too. Massive, massive difference. This floored me. Our Expert Advantage staging magic, and that's basically using a professional stager. This is your biggest point of leverage here. These numbers will blow your mind. So this is from, basically it's called an ASP, Certified Home Staging. It's basically the founder of staging here. They have a report where stage homes sell 80% faster than homes that aren't staged. So the average days in the market for a house that's non-staged is 145 days nationally. Stage home, 29 days or less. It's crazy, because we see all the time a lot of buyers, especially in the foreclosures and stuff, it's hard for buyers to visualize and put themselves in there, the furniture, things like that, because all these certain defects or things may be coming out, any flaws they'll find. It's a certain way that makes us such a great feel, because people are buying a home, not just a house there. And 94% of stage homes sell in 29 days or less. And that's one of the things that's the biggest difference. And just to kind of give a quick tip here real quick, what can kind of help, what are the biggest ROIs, I guess, return on investments for, I guess, put in the market. These are some simple things. Obviously, the home staging investment, usually 586% in regards to, this is from a study, it's on our website, it's from Home Gain. That's a huge thing. Clean and declutter, we talk about that, that's simple. Obviously, we mean like really deep clean and declutter. That's usually $100, $200 there. Return on investment, 872% on average. Huge thing there. I mean, these are little things we talk about. Lighting and brighting, $200 or $300, right? Increase the home value there, $1,000, $1,500. ROI, 572%, right? So it's a huge thing there. This is one thing that a lot of people don't really realize too, is landscape, the most the front and the backyard, $300 to $400. ROI there is 473%.
Yeah.
This is huge. We talk about going back to our buyer profiling. Okay, what type of family is going to purchase this house? Do they have kids? So if they have children and they're looking at that backyard and it's a big dust bowl, guess what? That's something they're going to go right to the next one because a lot of people can't deal with that. They can't visualize that. It doesn't have that feel there. And literally lakeside, do certain things. It makes a crazy difference in regards to.
It's really counterintuitive to the person who's trying to sell because they're like, I'm trying to get out of this property. I don't want to put money into it, but I've seen all the shows on TV, and there's a bunch of them about real estate, and they're going up to the homeowners and they're saying exactly what you're saying. It's like, you've got to invest in this, you've got to do the landscaping, you've got to repaint, you've got to put carpeting down. And they're like, but I'm moving out. But you're not going to sell unless you do those.
Exactly. And see, the thing about this, especially our system, is not experiment at this point, right? It's, I say all the time, here's the deal. If I give you a $100 bill for every $10 bill you give me, will you do it? All day long, every day, right? Same thing here. So that's how we're able to do it. We're not just guessing. Obviously that's why you want someone who's professional that obviously knows how to do that. But there's all kind of other things where, repair plumbing, certain things you do. Those are kind of part of the staging stuff. Obviously everybody knows neutral colors. There's another thing we can talk about in a second, that what buyers are looking for, what's most important to them, and kind of what certain features they want. But that's something that's all kind of a part of our guaranteed sold system. Those are some tips for any sellers there. But any questions you have, like I said, we can get you all full reports, information. We'll post some of this stuff on our website. And anybody has a question, just call in or submit online.
Tell you what, we're going to wrap things up in just a second here. We're also going to give you our hot deal of the week coming up in just a second as well. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Again, if you want to call Blake, his phone number is 843-808-SOLD. And of course, you can go to the website and get all the information we're talking about today at BlakeSloanRadio.com. That's BlakeSloanRadio.com.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach,
2 minutes left after that.
Plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level.
I don't know if you're going to need to pause here or anything because we got literally when we get back we'll have about a minute.
I just got that one deal, really. I let it go over.
That's all you'll have time. I mean, you're not going to have much time.
Perfect. Okay.
So that'll work out, and you can save the rest of that for next show if you want.
Cool. All right, just say, hey, we don't have time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top dollar. That's why on average Blake sells a property every single day of the year, and it's ranked.
Yeah, that's why I just, when I pre-promoted, I just had told him I was actually just going to wrap everything up and hot deal of the week. That's pretty much what we got.
Cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at Blake'sGuarantee.com. Blake'sGuarantee.com. And be sure to listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Sunday morning at 9 and Saturday mornings at 8.
Back to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. I'm your host, Dave Priest, on Hot Talk 99.5. Blake, we literally have about a minute left here, and we've been talking about all sorts of great stuff. If you want to get that information, go to the website at BlakeSloanRadio.com. But we can't let a show go by without finding out what our hot deal of the week is.
Absolutely. You always get that one hot deal, and obviously a lot of these deals sell within hours, minutes sometimes. The one big thing to remember here is the one we had before, the big deal. I just want to say it again. It's a huge house. It's on the ocean and also on Deepwater Canal in the inlet of Pawleys Island. 3-story house, giant house. I think it's over high 4,000 square feet. Unbelievable. Bank-owned foreclosure. Just dropped the price $2.19 million. And that house sold for way, way, way more than that. Unbelievable deal there where you can pull a boat. Like I said, you have entertaining space. It rents massive amounts of money. We have all the info on our site there. But we also have hot properties all in every day. Like I said, we have our Unfair Advantage program. If one of these foreclosures come on at midnight, you get it next minute. And that's before most people know about it. So go online, check it out. It's free service, no obligation, community service that we do, and we can get you access to those best deals. Absolutely.
All right, Blake Sloan, thanks for joining us again this week. For more information about anything Blake had to say, 808-SOLD, or go to BlakeSloanRadio.com. Next week, see you again?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, Blake Sloan from Sloan Realty Group here on the Grand Strand in the Myrtle Beach area. Again, 808-SOLD or BlakeSloanRadio.com. If you want to email him a question, ask at BlakeSloanRadio.com. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan on Hot Talk 99.5.